Podcast Thursdays, where I don't let everyone down and show up. How are we, boys?
Oi, oi, Savloy. Oh, we chaps you well.
Oh, good.
Can't beat a little unplanned breaking shows. Sorry about that, fellas. I tell you, I panicked when I got your message last week saying, "Lads, are we going?" And I was like, "Oh." So yeah, apologies.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, mate.
It does, mate. It does, and I'm really fond right now. I'm really.
It's a fine, that, Chris. It's a fine, or 20 lashes.
It's right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll put it into the end of season. The end of season party pot.
Yeah. End of season kitty.
The end of season kitty, yeah.
For a beef.
All Christmas do. What month are we in?
Is that what we go a beef on the podcast?
What have we got?
I would love to go a beef on the podcast.
County on tour. There you go, county on tour. Oh my god,
mate! I think that'd be ruthless. I think that'd be absolutely ruthless.
We can reenact my my first pre-season with county and go to Ibiza.
Nah, we better not.
No, it's the best actually. Best
I weren't there, but I've heard things. Nah.
Maybe we just go to Monton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't think my final trip, but I quite like the idea. I remember speaking ages ago about doing a lads' holiday for a podcast. Anyway, before you joined, just off air, we were talking about the league table and how we're looking so many games in. Before we start talking all that, I'm going to turn to Matty as always to break down what we've been seeing lately. Matty, with your analytical eye on, what have you made of County the last couple of weeks?
They're definitely not firing yet, are we? Definitely not. Seen glimpses of it in the recent win, but we're not there yet. And I think more than anything, it's the expectations. We expect more, like we said before. 6 games in, was it 1-2, lost 2, drew 2? Yeah,
with all for 2s.
Yeah, so I mean, you want to be, if you're title contenders at this stage, it's not too worrying. But if you want to have picked up 14 points really out of the 18, 13, 14 points minimum really to try and send a statement home. But we've got a few injuries, and and I just feel like like we talked last week about last time we were on about the gelling. There's a bit to go, but I think now's the time. We're gonna have to pick up now and really start to not only win home games, but pick up stuff away as well, because that's what title winning sides have to do.
The win against Maidenhead the other night, it's obviously welcome, but I think I was reading a few different forums, seeing things on social media and whatever, and the thing that I was getting the vibe of, and tell me what you think about this. We know that Halifax away is always a big game. We're two clubs that I don't want to keep labouring this drum every season, but clubs that don't really like being at this level, possibly could be higher and everything else. So us going to Halifax on the back of a 2-0 win, if we can get a win there, you're starting to get that momentum going, and again, you guys will know better than I will what momentum does for you as a team. But okay, look, Yeovil wasn't to be, let's just chalk it off if you like, and look at the next game, Maidenhead. We've won that 2-0 win, clean sheet, happy days. We go to Halifax with a buzzing atmosphere where the fans are going to be loud and in number. You get a win there, you can start to say, all right, momentum's coming now.
Yeah, of course you can. And this is what we said this off air, but winnable games become difficult games when it's not going your way because pressure's on.
Yeah.
Talking about momentum there, nobody will know better than Liam when you had that big run with County, where you just, momentum, you're winning every game and it almost snowballs, but it can go the other way as well if you get
it gets you through games. Momentum, when you're playing badly, if you've got that momentum and you've got that confidence in yourself that we're under the cosh here, but I know we can nick a goal. At the minute, sorry to interrupt you, Matt, but you're looking at like you said, the last 5 games, we've scored 3 goals in 5 games, and there's only been 2 goal scorers, Reedy and Rooney. That's for a team of our caliber and for the players that we've got. I feel like the Mainhead game, Mainhead result was a good result, but also I'm worried it's going to paper over some cracks. You know, we've got some injuries, but I think we've got depth in numbers that we should be being able to field players that can put a performance in and get results. Whether it's not the starting 11 players coming in, I feel like we should have the resources to be able to go out and field, you know, maybe a semi weaker side and still get results at this level if we're going to progress. And I've said from pre-season myself, this season's going to be harder than last season because of the pressure, because of, you know, County were probably start of the season favourites to go up, so that pressure on us, it takes its toll at times. And the standard of play, the standard of teams in this league, it's you look back over the years, it's just fantastic. You like to Yeovil, you've got the South Ends, got big clubs, Halifax ourselves, big clubs in this league. And I feel this season is going to be a lot harder and a lot tougher than last season. Going off, getting beat in the playoffs, it mentally affects players. Going into the next season, you know, you've worked that hard all season to get that close, to have to start all over again, and it might take them a while to get going, but we haven't got a while if we want to be working out that ladder and looking for promotion this season. So it's got to kind of gel soon, and I'm just worried that the result against Maidenhead might paper over some cracks, and I think there's a lot of work to be done.
Let me ask you this pressure that comes with being favourites, does it go against you in two ways? Because I guess what you're referring to there is the weight of expectation, fans looking at you, the expectation within yourself. You know, if you're not getting results, well, why are you not getting results, whatever. But does it also give the opposition something to use against you? Because if you're going up against a team that's well funded, well resourced, you know, good players, expected to win the league or be up there or thereabouts kind of thing, and you're not in that position, you think, okay, stink the place out. Do you know what I mean? Don't let them.
You ask any team in that league, they all want to play and they all want to beat Stockport County. They all want to go to Edgeley Park. They'll be on the bus at Yeovil. They'll be on the bus singing, drinking, dancing, because they just come to the favourites in the league and turn us over. All right, red card that helps us, but we're that club this season that everyone wants to beat. So. Yeah. The pressure is there, and it does make it tougher because everyone's on their A game, and you get some results where we've been beat, and then it's like, oh, hang on a minute, we can go there and do a job. So it's got to change soon. I mean, the pressure we felt when we missed out on the playoffs, you know, it was heartbreaking. Darlington away, we peppered them. I think it was 5-0. We got in the change rooms and we'd missed out. We missed out on the playoffs, and it was heartbreaking. And we didn't have the best of starts to the season, and I think mentally we were thinking about that as well. You know, another long season. We've got to get there again, and it plays in your mind a bit. But it's about being professional and getting the jobs done and finishing teams off. And I think it'll come, but it needs to come sooner rather than later for us to make that charge.
By the way, something that I know will be universally well received. How good is it seeing Mark Kitchen back out after all this time with injury? You know, for me, one of the most promising players we had before he got his injuries. I mean, how long ago was it? Midway through last season? You know, and at first nobody realised it was an injury that's, oh my God, okay, it's going to keep you out for a while. But he's back, and you know he's now back in the team, and not only is it good because of who he is and because of what kind of player he is, but if we're being honest, that left-back area, there is a little question mark over it, mainly because we don't have that natural left-sided left-back, call it what you like. You know, Jamie Stott has gone out on loan. Ben Barkley's been kind of playing there, but doesn't really, for me, doesn't really fit that role. But Mark Kitchen's back there now, and he is that natural left back. So for two reasons: A, he's a great guy, it's good to have him back in the squad. But B, gives you more balance as well, if you like. Welcome back, Mark Kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, as well, we've lost James Jennings, haven't we? He's finished.
Of course,
so,
yeah.
You know, I mean, he's a well-respected player around the club, and having such a long time out, the encouraging factor is he's only going to go from strength to strength. He's only going to sharpen up, because we all know we can have, you know, umpteen training sessions. Pitch time's different, reserve games are different to first team games. Yeah. So he's going to go from strength to strength, and that can only be encouraging for us, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think any important player coming back from injury is a massive boost for the team, for the players. You know, the players will see him out in training and thinking, oh yeah, he's back, and that boosts us. And for the gaffer not to have replaced him, brought another, you know, you could have brought someone else on loan, a natural left back, a similar player. It just shows how much he thinks of him as a player, and you know, he's waiting for him to get back, and that's a fantastic sign for us as a club.
Do you know what I've just seen, lads? Absolutely tarantula-esque spider run across my front room.
Don't, mate, don't. I did one on my bed before, and I screamed and shot at my missus.
Do you know how professional I've just had to be to not do what you just said? The worst bit is now I can't see it.
They've got 8 fists, mate. They will. That's it. That's it. I'm done. They've got 8 fists. That's the way I see them. I've only got 2. They've got 8.
And tattoos as well.
Yeah, sleeves rolled up and everything.
Yeah,
chest out.
Oh, mate.
How nervous he is.
If you'd seen this thing, it's like this. It's like that walking around.
You're going to hear in a minute, oh, my signal's going, and it's going to go off.
Yeah.
I've completely lost where we were. Anyway, let's talk about the Halifax game, because that's going to take my mind off it, and hopefully by then Winty's found a way outside. But Halifax, big game, right? We've already established that. Without wanting to put pressure on the players or extra added pressure, whatever, start with yourself, Matt. How big is this game? And if you were a player preparing for this game, what would be going through your head if you were part of that squad now?
It's big, and it's big because we've underachieved so far. So it's even bigger. And like you say, they're big ground, big club, big status, just like us. Not as big as us, but you know, in that conversation. So it's always going to be big. Look at previous games. Look at the Yeovil, the 3-0 defeat. All right, the first goal's a tremendous finish. You know, he's literally picked out the bottom inch of the bottom corner, but the rest of the goals could have been avoided. A little bit of luck, we could have had a penalty. We've had him had a bit more of a protest from the lads. Maybe we would have got a penalty. Midfield has been robbed for the third goal. You know, they've nicked a penalty. All these things, a little bit of luck on the day. But going to Halifax, you could look at it the other way. There's again, teams are going to have a go at us. They're at home. They're going to fancy it. Fans are back and whatnot. But there's less pressure on us, if you like, in the sense that, you know, they're going to fancy it, and we are underachieving at the moment. If I was a player in that squad at a ground like that, we spoke about before, or I was the gaffer or whatever, you might have to ride the storm for 15, 20 minutes, come out of it without conceding. And the main thing is take your chances on the day. Take your chances, make things count. You know, we've seen John Rooney. He looks like he's firing. Some of the other lads really starting to show what he can do now. Big, strong forward. And like you say, we've got Mark Kitchen back, the 2 centre halves, you know, controlling things. So there's no reason really why we can't go there and at least pick up a point. But I'm pretty sure the gaffer will want a bit more. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like it's like you say, it's a big ground, it's a big stadium. We've got a good fan base. It's going to be great for spectators. But it's very important that County don't concede. That's what, agreeing with Matt. It's we've got goals. I think the lads need to be chipping in with more goals. I feel like we're relying on Rooney a bit too much at the minute. You know, like you say, Reedy scored. He's a fantastic player. He's a fantastic goal scorer. So hopefully that's kick-started him to kick on now. But some more goals throughout the team would be welcome. Played at Halifax a couple of times, and it's a similar atmosphere to County, a similar stadium. It's not as big. The club's not as big, but the fans are good, and they'll be right behind them. So I feel like if they wave the storm for the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, don't concede, get into the game and take our chances, I feel like we'll come away with 3 points. like Matt was saying, the pressure's more off us now because we have underachieved so far this season. We'll be expected not to be rolling over teams. So I feel like they'll give us a bit of a game. But I feel like we'll do the job.
It was always one of my favourite grounds to go to, especially on doing the radio and stuff, because you can see the fans coming in from the other side, and obviously you get that nice big high stadium with the good, good gantry and viewing point and everything else
It's like an old school stadium, isn't it?
The really big pitch, if I remember. And if you consider the first goal at Maidenhead, where we broke, it was all one-touch football and broke. We're very, very capable of that on a pitch that size. And I imagine it'll be a perfect pitch as well, really nice surface. You get runners forward on a big pitch like that, we can really exploit them with the pace we've got in the side and the ability.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How would you approach this game? Start with you this time, Dicko. If you were the gaffer, I remember Flinny telling me that he would tell teams in games where they wanted a win, and I'm guessing this is probably quite a bit different to how Jim did things. But Flynn used to say he wanted his teams, and I quote, to start the game at 100 miles an hour. He wanted to go out, rush him, maybe nick an early goal, really swarm everywhere, get all over them. Now I know that there's a different train of thoughts. You know, some managers will say start slow, consolidate, control, blah blah blah. Which end of the spectrum or anywhere in the middle do you go on this?
I feel like high tempo throughout, is a positive. Coming out the tracks early, with a high tempo pressing on the ball, pass, keep the ball moving. If you're on the ball, you want to tie that position out as quickly as you possibly can, so you can counteract that, and that's when you can start punishing them. I feel like the gaffer should be looking to go there, and we'll be wanting a lot of possession. We're making Halifax work for the ball, work to win the ball back, creating as many chances as we can early doors. I think, you've got to have that balance. We need to keep a clean sheet as well, because Halifax are a decent team, and if we do get sloppy, they will punish us. So we've got to be on the ball, but I feel like high pressure, high intensity, we've got the players to outplay any team in the league, fitness wise, skill wise, determination. It's just gelling it all together. So hopefully, like I say, going off the back of the Maidenhead game, I'm hoping we're not papering all the cracks, but we've kick-started our season now, and we're gonna take that game into the Halifax game.
How about you, Matt? What would you say? Would you try and control the game, or do you think let's go and start swinging?
I totally agree with Liam. I think as long as it's done right, and we're pressing in units, 3 units, and we're not leaving gaping gaps. Because you could look at it the other way. You could make a case either side, stay compact, ride the storm, which is what we're going to have to do at times. But we've said before this season so far, I remember saying it 2 or 3 games ago at home, we sat really deep. In fact, it was the Dagenham game. We sat really deep too soon, really, inviting pressure. I think if you do that, you're asking for trouble. And it shows an overall lack of confidence in the side if you're sitting deep. It's almost as if you're conceding possession and you're asking for trouble. But I agree with Liam. If you press early in units and you've got a really good keeper behind you, there's no reason why the back 4 can't push right up. They can push the midfield up, and then somebody like Reid, as Liam will know better than anybody, can lead the line and force errors and force mistakes and start to make Halifax concede corners, throw-ins and bad clearances. Just those little inches and little edges. You might not win the first one, but you might win the second one because you've rushed the first one. And he's caused a bad pass, and the second man's had a bad touch because of the bad pass, and it just ricochets like a domino.
Yeah,
start fast like that without gaps, with a good keeper, with a good starting position. Take the game to what we've got to lose now. We've underachieved. Like Liam says, our season starts now, and now's the time that we need to start picking stuff up away from home. We need to win our home games and start picking points and 3 points away from home.
Yeah, I agree. I also, what you say there about, obviously, there's going to be spells in the game where we've got to weather the storm. But Matt nailed it on the head there. We can't just concede the possession and accept, right. We just need to defend now, because you just invite that much pressure, and eventually, the ball's in the back of the net. But it's also so important while we're in the storm that we get up early and we support Reedy when the ball goes up to him, because when there's a gap between the striker and the midfielder that's so big, it just comes back and back and back. And there's nothing worse for a defender or a midfielder who's pinging the ball to a striker and he's got no one around him, so it's coming back, it's bouncing off him, he's trying to do too much to keep hold of it. It's them gaps, them margins, and like Matt said, moving up as a unit, working as a unit. You start from the front, we defend from the front, but we also go in sync and we work as a unit, and it's very important, especially on a big pitch.
Let me just ask you quickly. You said something a couple of times today about the other players chipping in. As a striker, how did you feel about other players chipping in? If results weren't going our way, would you look at them and say you need to start giving me more? Would you look at them and start? Would you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like obviously as a striker, I mean, I played in a team where we had goals all over the pitch. There was myself, there was Adam Prowlock, Pilkinson, we had Michael Rose from left back scoring goals. You know, Jason Taylor. We had players all over the pitch. Tommy Rowe, we had fantastic talent. But that season, I think Pilkinson scored 10, is in double figures. Tommy Rose scored 7 or 8 or 9. You had Adam Prowlock who scored a good few goals. We had players all over the pitch scoring goals. At the minute, we're relying on Reedy and Rooney, and that won't get us out of this league. We need goals from all over the pitch.
Change when Scott Quigley comes back. I mean, I know he's big name signing, riddled with injuries from day one. It's it's unfair to to say anything about him really, because we've just not had the chance to see too much.
Hopefully it'll change, but like I say, it's for me personally, I feel like if you look at the teams that have gone up in the past few years, you look at their midfield and their midfield will be scoring goals. It won't just be the strikers, the midfield, the wingers.
Oh God!
Is it back? Is it back? Is it grown? Is it been to the gym? Oh, he's gone, mate. He's bottled it.
Hang on. I don't know how clearly you can see this picture. That's him there.
Oh, mate, he's just been to the gym. He's got a protein shake in his hand.
Thank you, Bruce.
I see him benching down in the gym in the garden. He's look at that boy. He's massive. Good
lad, him. He's going to a pub, mate, isn't he?
I think as well, Chris. I think we're forgetting. We've still got Paddy Madden to start chipping in. His contribution, aside from goals, is really strong in my opinion. I can see quite clearly the Football League pedigree that he possesses. He's making things happen when they're not really supposed to happen, making things spill, running those channels like a big part of your job, Liam. Running those channels, chasing crisp packets, just literally pressure all the time, whether it's being an outlet for you or whether it's running after a lost cause. But just literally a little bit of luck. If he bangs 1 or 2 in, I'm very sure he'll go on and run and shows what he can do and what he's done over the years. Yeah,
we saw that last year, didn't we? He waited and waited for his goal, and then he started chipping in, and the talent he's got is unbelievable. Like you say, we're lucky to have a player with that talent at the club, and I feel like when I say about other people chipping in, you look at. I mean, I've been at teams where the centre half scored 7 goals in a season, 5 to 7 goals. If you're a centre half, you want to be looking 3 to 4 goals a season. For me personally, I think minimal 3 to 4 goals, and then them 3 to 4 goals could get you 6 points throughout the season. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it all mounts up. Chipping in a couple of goals from the wingers or the midfielders, it all mounts up. But like I said, at the minute we've had two goal scorers in 5 games, consisting of 3 goals. That's not good enough to be competing in this league. So like we need players to chip in.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. Well, boys, I'm going to go and put one of these pairs of gloves on behind me and go and do 10 rounds with my 8-legged friend in a minute.
Well, next week you're going to have 2 shiners, aren't you?
I reckon he'll sell his house.
Mate, it seems the logical thing to do at this moment in time, if I'm honest. That boy is he's a big old boy down there. But,
he's off in a minute, mate. Straight on the duvet.
Keep your eye on it, Chris. Keep your eye on it. You can't lose something that big.
I'm going. I'm out. Me. I'm going Travelodge if I'm you.
I'm coming sleeping at one of your houses, I think.
So my missus shows me a picture of it like, under a glass and out the door, and that's it. I'm on there. I'm looking to rent. I'm looking to room share with someone.
Are we all in agreement that it's catch the spider, throw it out, or does anyone kill it?
Whoa! I didn't hear that. You broke up.
Did I? I was just saying. Are we all in agreement that it's catch the spider, throw it outside, or have we got any killers in the room?
No. I was really brave before. I think it had lost a leg, so it was like it was trying to run, but it was going around in a circle. It lost a couple of legs, so it was either that or it was breakdancing. But I got like an envelope and scooped it up and out the window.
Was it as big as that one?
It was. I think it was like its younger cousin. It weren't as big, but yeah, I've had some big ones in the house. It's not nice, is it? It's coming winter though, isn't it? They're all freezing. I'm paying the bills, and they're getting warm.
That's what I was going to say. Exactly. It's not free, is it?
It's not, mate. It's not, mate.
I got some beers in the fridge. I'm hoping that it just turns out to be one of the good guys, and I can just leave one in front of him, and he'll just,
I'm on the water tonight as well. On the water tonight, mate.
Wow.
I thought that was vodka then.
I'm having a big sesh tomorrow, mate. That's why.
Staying hydrated. And what's the special? What's the occasion? Anything special?
It's my pal's birthday, so just round to us for drinks. Straight after work, and then stumble home.
It's my lad's birthday this weekend.
Oh, is it?
There's a kid next door who's the same age, and their birthday's like 2 days apart. So they're obviously having a joint party. And I seen his dad on the playground this morning, and he's like, "I've got the beers, mate. I've stocked up." He showed me in his boot, and he's got absolutely loads. It's all about the kids, though.
Well, I share my birthday with my youngest stepson. So, so I've done. My birthdays have been to like the Wacky Warehouse and stuff like that. But this year, mate, we're going paintballing, mate. Paintballing for his birthday. I'm buzzing.
How old is he?
He's going to be 11.
Rather do it in summer than winter. I'm telling you.
What's that?
I'd rather do it in summer than winter, mate.
Mate, I'm going to be lay there camping, just picking 11-year-olds off. I'm that guy that buys like smoke grenades and everything.
When is that?
It's on the 4th of October, so we'll be doing it on the 2nd. Is the Saturday.
I think that's going to be a fun podcast.
Yeah, good that one. Bruises all over me.
Right, well, listen, gents, I'm going to let you both run on because if I'm not mistaken, Matty, you've not eaten your tea yet. You must be starving.
Wasting away, pal.
Wasting away.
Can't even see you, mate. Can't even see you. Like your boxing days.
Yeah. Like I've got a week.
Wait. Last week's cut. Listen, lads. Well, big game on Saturday. Let's keep our eyes on it. And
boys, know we can do it.
We'll come back on this time next week on Podcast Thursdays. Mainwaring, Liam Dickinson, Stockport County Live signing out. Thank you very much, gents.
Peace out.
Take it easy, boys.